Hey guys, another video with the Fulcrum stuff, and this time about the self-freezing. And why would you want to self-freeze? Well, we got Winterheart amulet, which has existed since long ago, and I've been always wanting to do something with it, but it was never really like, I mean, it was possible, but it was very unreliable. But this time it's super easy. Just use Fulcrum. You use Fulcrum, you either got the chance to freeze or just crit, and you will just freeze yourself. Obviously, if you're frozen, you cannot move, so you also need Calm's Roots or to be Juggernaut. But if you're using Fulcrum, you kind of also have to be Chieftain, because unaffected by ignites is very important. And I was using Expedition's Ends so that all my hits would be able to freeze, and like it's easier to freeze with the Expedition's End. Now obviously because of that I am still affected by shock. So in all the clips that you're gonna see, whenever I'm taking damage, it's usually amplified by the shock. This isn't the only thing that I wanted to talk about. The Winterheart is one part of the cool thing. The other cool thing is that you can proliferate that freeze. So you basically freeze, put freeze on yourself, and then run to enemies, and then they freeze without you doing anything. And I think that's extremely cool. So unfortunately the AoE of the... Oh, actually one more thing. I was using elemental proliferation. I decided to pick the divergent elemental proliferation because it does increase damage per elements on enemies basically. So it was giving some damage, but you can actually use... not sure if I have, but you can actually use the medium jewel like this with the blast freeze, which proliferates freeze to 12 units radius around you, which is actually pretty small distance around you. And I believe elemental proliferation gem proliferates in a 15 units radius, I believe, which can be scaled with increased area of effect. But I could be wrong, but I'm like 90% sure that it does scale with increased AoE. Unfortunately I don't really have much AoE. I only got one AoE cluster. And whatever else I got for AoE is for weapon specific, so it wouldn't like scale the proliferation AoE. So you could actually scale this proliferation AoE quite a lot, and literally just freezing enemies while you are getting close to them. So it adds extra safety. Now obviously this build was not designed for this. This was like a reverse shield, and a reverse shield is being blocked by Winterheart, so all my attack speed is super slow. Because I'm freezing myself and I don't really normally have good attack speed without chill. Another thing, with the elemental proliferation support gem, you are also igniting yourself and igniting enemies, proliferating that ignite to enemies. And that's, I guess I should start with that. You do need either global proliferation like I showed on the blast freeze cluster jewel, or you want to link the skill that causes the proliferation, that causes the elements, to link that with the elemental proliferation. That way you can proliferate ignites, shocks, freezes, and I believe you can also proliferate the other elements like scorch, brittle, sap, but I haven't tested those. You can probably use breathing jar, and well, actually you can. I cannot use proliferation. Well, whatever. I will use the breathing jar, and then I will hit them, and then you will see my action speed. Well, actually I will not lose action speed, but actually if I don't use that I should freeze myself. There we go, I'm frozen. So action speed minus 254. So with the boots you basically do not freeze yourself. Let me load into another zone. So you will see the debuff icon under me, and you will also see the life regen shooting up a lot by a couple thousands. We use that, we do that, and boom, I got all the ailments on me, and including freeze. I think I did not crit this time. So yeah, you have to either get enough crit chance, or you have to get enough chance to freeze. And in most of the clips I was using Infernal Blow because it doesn't really matter that much with expeditions and all my damage can freeze. But obviously with divergent, with the any glacial hammer, you do get like easier time of freezing. But the build was more designed for Infernal Blow, so I was showcasing with Infernal Blow mostly. But if you like want to freeze bosses, by the way, endgame bosses cannot be fully slowed down, but it still procs a freeze on them. It just they can still move. It's just like you are frozen, but you can still move with Calm's Roots. So the same way goes for all the endgame bosses. It's like they have Calm's Roots equipped on them, so we cannot fully be like frozen, but you can still proc a freeze. But to do that on a high end game bosses like Awakening 8, 9 Cirrus, you're gonna have to get a lot of even non-damaging ailments, or specifically cold ailments, or like anything to do with freeze. So for example, Glacial Hammer. Every third successive strike freezes enemies as though dealing 360% more damage. So it doesn't actually do more damage, but in calculations it counts as you like fake doing more damage to calculate the freeze threshold. So you're obviously gonna want a lot of ailment effect, maybe freeze duration, and yeah, if you're gonna be doing this build, I think this can be extremely tanky build if you go with this idea, but you're also gonna be slow, so you're gonna have to figure out a way to move fast, attack fast. I mean, you still get movement speed from, if you can see, movement speed is 2%. If I use Quicksilver Flask, it goes to 67. So you still get movement speed from Quicksilver Flask. It's just your speed cannot drop below base. So also you can actually walk on the chilling ground. It's not gonna slow you down. There are a couple of things that will slow you down. Things like Dark Ground, which has reduced movement speed rather than less action speed. So basically that's all I wanted to share, mainly about the freeze, but also mention a couple of things. In my previous video I talked about the Fulcrum build, the like fake or like ignite proliferating like Righteous Fire build. It's kind of weird to say that, but people reported that you can, to basically be immune to ignites, to go CI with the Black Flame Ring, and then the ignite that gets reflected back to you is gonna be Hears, but you're gonna be immune to Hears, so you're not gonna be taking any damage, but you can still proliferate that onto enemies, and it can actually be a legit build. Now regarding one more thing, regarding the proliferation, turns out the normal proliferation doesn't work as well as like Barrack's Grip or Alberon's Hooves boots, because those can be insane. And after that I saw a couple of videos of like people clearing with a single ignite full legion, ignite just continuously spread out. If you're thinking about certain ignite proliferations build, look at Barrack's Respite Ring or Alberon's Hooves boots. And for freezing, I think this is the only like freezing proliferation thing, but I could be wrong. If you got any other ideas for the freeze build, I'm very interested to know, because like I said, I have been wanting to do the self freeze build for I don't know, a couple of years now, and I never really did it properly. So if you got some ideas, let me know in the comments below. And for now, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.